Welcome to our executive interview series at CyberTalks, presented by Cyberscoop. I'm Wyatt Cash with Scoop News Group, and we're here with André Mendes, Chief Information Officer at the Department of Commerce. André, thank you so much, as always, for joining us.
Always a pleasure, Wyatt.
I'd like to start by asking, how has the increasing shift to and reliance on cloud services made real-time cybersecurity and threat detection easier or harder?
I think it has made it a lot easier, quite honestly, for a variety of reasons, especially when it gets to the detection arena, right? So we have deployed now an EDR solution that is software as a service, cloud-based, right? And that provides us with a console of all of the deployed EDR, edge environments that we can monitor at the commerce level, right? While at the same time preserving the ability of the bureaus to look at their own environments, right, and preserving their safety in terms of us going in there and changing their environments. Having that deployed by a SaaS provider that has all the expertise for configuring, that has all the expertise about pushing out all of the necessary signatures and everything else associated with that on a real-time basis is radically different for us, right? Otherwise, we would be dealing with different EDR solutions at all of the bureaus, having different consoles, not having a central view of the entire organization, not being able to provide, for example, CISA with a central view of the environment were we to suffer an intrusion, right? And therefore, delaying mitigation. So from that standpoint has been, absolutely essential. Also, the cloud providers that we deploy, right, are always at FedRAMP high. Right? And so there's an expectation that the amount of cybersecurity that they bring into their environments is in all likelihood potentially much higher than we could provide on a bureau-by-bureau basis with a system in our data center that would have to go through all of the patching routines and everything else by different people that might be more prone to error making and all of that. And so when you look at an environment where by decision, by design, we have software as a service for just about everything that we can do as such. We are shifting the risk from the bureaus, from the Department of Commerce into the vendors themselves, with the expectation that because their shareholder value depends on their maintenance of a system that is about as secure as could possibly be, and they have the expertise in their systems, that we can operate at a higher level of reliability.
Some great observations there. Next, what have been the most serious types of cybersecurity attacks that the Department of Commerce is dealing with this year compared to, say, a year or two ago? And what threats are you seeing more of that organizations need to get out in front of?
So the phishing continues to be absolutely ubiquitous. I mean, it is everywhere, it's all the time, and it's increasing in sophistication, right? I expect that trend to continue, especially with AI and the potential for, voice replication, image replication. So that continues to be one of our biggest areas of concern, right? We are constantly going through education of our user base so that they are aware of all the nuances. It will be increasingly difficult, I will tell you that, and it's a very worrisome part of the equation. The other one that we've seen an uptick recently is in denial of service attacks, right? It's because of the distributed DNS environments that we run and everybody else runs, it is actually possible for some of the bad guys to leverage a DNS infrastructure in order to deny service to people protected by the same DNS infrastructure, because it's distributed, it's open, right? And so it creates an environment where whomever is supposed to be giving you the best protection is sometimes potentially aiding into basically preventing people from using your services. As you know, nowadays there are out there bots for hire, just like we're using software as a service. The hackers are using hacking as a service, including the ability to purchase a very large number of bots on command in the dark web with a credit card so that you can attack a particular target, right? It's incredible how entrepreneurial these people can get. And so I expect that there will be a continuation, right? Because even when it's not totally incapacitating, it can be quite debilitating because the traffic scales, to terabits sometimes. Per second, and you have to have the right resilient points in terms of that. CDNs help, of course, and all of the protections, for these systems. But it continues to be a very, very challenging environment.
And then lastly, how has the enormous sudden attention around artificial intelligence and generative AI impacted the Department of Commerce's security planning heading into the coming year?
Well, it is obvious just by what is already happening today that deepfakes are making an impact in the environment. And deepfakes can be, enormously destructive and corrosive when it comes to cybersecurity, right? Imagine a situation where, I speak at conferences all the time. Getting a voice print of my voice is about as easy as it gets, right? Getting a video print of my video talking is about as easy as it gets. How much does it take for one of these script kiddies out there in a basement somewhere to put that through an generative AI filter that all of a sudden changes everything that I said into everything that I would never say? And all of a sudden you have disruption of message. You can have potential, ability to intrude into a system, calling somebody at our ESOC, hey, this is Andre. I'm really dealing with a very serious situation here. I need access to this system, that system, that system. If I sound exactly like me, or if they sound exactly like me, if you get on a Teams and all of a sudden, there's an opportunity for video to be spoofed, right? Those are enormous challenges, right? So we need to make sure that we're ready for that. Fortunately, that's a challenge that's experienced by everybody. And so there are a lot of people working on digital printing, and digital certifications to make sure that the images are what they're supposed to be. But of course, the type of resources that we have for that are not the resources that are available to everybody. So I expect that in the real world of people out there, of our citizenry, that the ability to leverage that type of capability in order to do identity stealing, in order to do credential stealing, in order to do spoofing with financial organizations and everything else will be an enormous challenge. So are we ready for that challenge? No. Will we ever be? No. But we will be as ready as we can possibly be, considering that it's a nascent set of skills that are being developed out there, but for which there is enormous financial incentive for people to develop. And so we need to be very cognizant of that. And of course, it will be an unfunded mandate. But you know what? What's new, right? We just got to deal with what we got to deal, regardless of any other circumstances.
Well, André Mendes, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to share your observations on the changing landscape, and it's changing fast for the Department of Commerce.
Thank you, Wyatt. Always a pleasure.